It's time now for Perspective. Ireland's traveller community is the country's largest minority, and its members often find themselves on the margins of society. Not only do they encounter employment discrimination and traditionally fare worse than non-travellers in the education system, they also find themselves physically pushed out of urban areas, authorities wary of letting them settle anywhere for too long. My guest today is Tamara Eckhardt, whose latest collection of photographs is entitled The Children of Carabrown. That opens this weekend at Paris's Outskirts Centre as part of the European Young Photography Festival. Thank you so much for coming on to speak to us here at France 24. Our pleasure. Now, you are German, you live and work in Berlin.
Yeah.
How did the Irish area of Carabrown first appear on your radar?
So when I was a child, I used to live in Ireland for 2 years, and my family always went there for holidays, so I had this connection. There was this connection between me and Ireland. And last year I felt like I want to come back to Ireland and to experience it as a 24-year-old and to do a project there. And so I went over to Ireland, and I have heard about the traveller community before, but just until I was in Galway, I've read about the Carabrown halting site, which is situated outside of Galway, right next to the city dump. And for me, it was really interesting and made me curious about how the people live there and about their culture and traditions.
And how do people live there? What does life look like for this community?
So they mostly live in mobile homes, and they live on halting sites, which is like a small area where they can put their mobile homes. And that's where they live.
Now, it's not just the people you're interested in, it's also very specifically their environment that comes up a lot in your photographs.
Yeah, but like my main interest is actually the theme childhood and how what's it like growing up, and how does the difficult circumstances affect the childhood, shortens it. And so this is the main theme I'm mostly interested in. And for me, it was interesting to, I only took pictures of the children because for me they were like small adults, and just.
You said that their childhood seemed somehow shortened. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think because of the difficult circumstances they live in, they have this. I felt like that they are becoming. It's hard to explain, but for me they were small adults. For example, they have a really nice childhood, but at the same time, a lot of girls marry at the age of 16, and the girls they have to look after their younger siblings, and they have to help in the in their homes and to clean, and also they have to they often don't stay at a place for a very long time. So because of their situation, they have the government moves them somewhere else. And I feel like all these, because of all this, they become an adult much quicker than a normal child would.
And what about the adults you encountered? Did you find there was that similarity reflected in the children, this sense of having obligations, of having to complete adult tasks that came from the adults in the community?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. And
what is it that first brought you to photography? You said you lived in Ireland, but why was it photography that really called to you?
For me, photography is the only way to express myself. And for me, it's because through photography, I have the privilege to meet different societies, to dive into different people's lives and to tell their stories. And that's how I express myself. So. Yeah.
And you're now part of this exhibition at the Outskirts Centre in northern Paris, an exhibition called Circulation. how important was it for you to be part of this wider movement of young photographers?
It's very important because for me, like I get a wide visibility. I get to meet a lot of other great young photographers, artists. It's a great exchange. So yeah, it's amazing to have the opportunity to show your work, and yeah.
And what about any upcoming projects you might have? Are you going to stay in Ireland, or have you got your sights set on other communities, other ways of living that interest you?
Yeah, so my main topic, as I said, is childhood and the theme of growing up. And my first project was in Berlin, where I took pictures of teenage mothers. And then I did the Care Brown project, and now I'm doing another project in Ireland. I'm taking pictures of children and teenagers in a small community.
It sounds fascinating,
Yeah.
and for anyone in Paris who wants to catch your latest collection, it's on at the 104 Centre as part of the Circulation Festival, I suppose it is.
Yeah.
Tamara Eckhardt, thank you so much for coming on to speak to us at France 24.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. A reminder now of our top headlines on France 24. A dramatic